thank you all so much for coming here tonight to help Rog celebrate his MBE and 43 years of Fylde guitars. I can see already... Don't worry, love. You don't need to speak because I'm going to do it all for you. I'm going to do a few more thank yous a bit later on, but I do need to say something now about the artists who have come here tonight out of love and friendship for Rog. I was completely overwhelmed by the response to my invitations. The musicians who have managed to get here have travelled from all over the country. Eric and his wife have flown in from Sweden. Stu and his wife have flown in from France. They've jammed this night into a tiny gap between gigs, in some cases travelling all day to get here and travelling all day tomorrow to get back for their next engagement. Those who haven't been able to come have been really disappointed, but they are here with you in spirit, Rog, as they play your guitars all over the world tonight. I think that's a song. But I won't sing it, don't worry. Everyone performing tonight has equal status. There are no headliners, but they all bring something special and unique to make for a really entertaining evening. And so to open the evening, Nic Jones with his son Joe. Hi, Nic. Now we have Nic and Joe.
Well, we'll sing a song. This is one that I used to like singing, and Joe's taken over now.
I hope you like it, Rog.
Well, it's called Canadee I-O, and it's got, you can join in at the end of each verse. Canadee I-O. Watch out on the fifth verse, or the sixth verse, yeah. It changes. It's of a fair and handsome girl, and she's all in her tender years. She fell in love with a sailor boy, and it's true that she loved him well. But to go off to sea with him like she did not know how, she longed to see that seaport town called Canadee I-O. So she bargained with a young sailor boy, and it's all for a piece of gold. Straightway he let her all down into the hold, saying, I'll dress you up in sailor's clothes, and your jacket, it shall be blue. You'll see that seaport town called Canadee I-O. Now when the other sailors, they heard the news, well, they fell into a rage. And with all the whole ship's company, they were willing to engage, saying, we'll tie her hands and her feet, my boys, and overboard we'll throw her, and she'll never see that seaport town called the captain he's heard the news, well, he fell in a rage. And with his whole ship's company, he was willing to engage, saying she'll stay all in sailor's clothes and her jacket shall be blue. She'll see that seaport town called Joe's turn. Now when they came down to Canada, scarcely above half a year, she's married this bold captain who called her his dear. She's dressed in silks and satins now, and she cuts a gallant show. And she's the finest of all the ladies down in come all you fair and tender girls, wheresoever you may be, I'd have you to follow your own true love when he goes out on the sea. For if the sailors prove false to you, well, the captain, he might prove true. To see the honour that I have gained by the wearing of the blue.
Right, so one song from Standing Start in front of all of my heroes.
Marvellous. Here we have Vin Garbutt.
I'm a little bit embarrassed. I've brought me Ibanez. And so I've borrowed this one. That's been rescued a few thousand times by Roger. Am I plugged in? I am. Let's have a look. Right, another little embarrassment is I asked to go on early because apparently I'm the only one selling CDs tonight. And there's a special offer. Anybody that buys a CD tonight gets a free statin. Yeah. I'm doing a tour. I'm doing a tour currently. Just to get bums on seats, you have to bend the rules a bit. And I'm doing a few gigs under the name of Garbutt Giltrap. And another, Gordon's going out as Gilbert Garbutt. Yeah, here's a song. This folk singing business is unsustainable without the help of all the folk club organisers and friends of and volunteers who put us up over the years. Stayed with Roger and Moira. There's people here I've stayed with, Anne and Eddie, and they just look after you. And life on the road, you know, a few hotels, that's all right, but without the folkies. And after a few years, I went professional in '69, and after a few years, you sort of you realise you're staying with people who are not just people you've met. They welcome you back into their homes, like a long-lost friend or even relative. And over 46 years, this has happened to me 3 times. So this is for all those. This is for all those. I actually wrote this for a lady called Rose Allen and her husband Ken, who met me outside St Martin in the Fields, Trafalgar Square, about 1973, and I had nowhere to go, and they took me home with them. Stayed with them for decades. It was lovely. And your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's winter, with the spring yet undetected, and your welcome was so warm. It's so many years in truth travelled that great distance, just a sad and lonely youth, when I first made your acquaintance, and your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's winter, with the spring yet undetected, and your welcome was warm. I was damaged, I was hurt. I smiled at those who shook me. I was trampled in the dirt by those I thought had loved me, and your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's gleaming, and your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's winter, with the spring yet undetected, and your welcome was so warm. So I thank you for the hand, the words of wisdom spoken, the kindness in your arms mended me when mine was broken, and your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's winter, with the spring yet undetected, and your welcome was so warm. I never did expect it. I was weary of life's winter, with the spring yet undetected, and your welcome was so warm. Your welcome was so warm.
Okay, we're all meant to be telling little stories about Roger, so here we go. About a year ago, this guitar was featured in a magazine, which wasn't difficult for it because I'm the editor of that magazine. And because this is about, I don't know, 8 years old, I suppose, something like that, I had to inquire of Roger what the current retail price would be if it was ordered today. And he told me in an email, and my reply must have sounded somewhat surprised, which it was, in fact, because I said, "Oh, really?" And I got a reply back written all in capitals that said, "You sell that guitar, I'll have you killed." So I'm really here tonight. I've still got it. Are we here? Well, okay.
knowing that there would be all these people in this room that are fantastic guitar players, I've left mine at home.
Chicken.
I use my guitar, I love it. I've had it for 20 years now. And I use it for writing songs. And it's one of my best friends. It's lovely. But I wouldn't say I'm particularly wonderful at playing it, but it's great. I love it to bits. We're going to sing a Ewan Crothers song, and it's about a 3 o'clock in the morning type moment when you get your inspiration and you've just got to get out of bed and write the song, or whatever you do. It's for creative people, so I thought you'd appreciate it.
I'm going to do this inlay for this new custom guitar. Something like that.
One of those moments.
Can't get it out of your head.
It's so long since I've been here, I can't remember when I last sat at this table and took the poet's pen. The house is bathed in stillness, outside is much the same. The human camera's empty, nothing in the frame. The dawn has barely broken, it is the bird's domain. Somewhere in the garden, the sweet notes rise again. The TVs all are silent now, the cars are cold and still, the sun not fully risen yet. Behind the slate-roofed hill, all quiet on this little front, I whisper to myself, we are as wooden puppets, stiff and lifeless on the shelf, till time the puppet master will pull the waking string, assisted by his minions, alarms and phones that ring. I feel I am intruding within a secret place, to watch the earth renew herself, to face the human race, and so to bed and sleep now. But I wonder if I can, of all the creatures on this earth, the loneliest is man. Ooh, of all the creatures on this earth, the loneliest is man.
Good evening, everybody. It's probably the most stressful situation now because I need to play and everybody is waiting for some food. So I'll do a quick one then. And Roger, thank you very much for binding those two beautiful guitars for me. And I'm doing my best to spread the word about your guitars to some of the greatest guitarists. And it's a pleasure to know you, actually before and after you got your award. So thank you very much for everything. Thank you very much for trusting me. And would you like me to play a fast one or a slow one? Because you are hungry, right?
Roger, be afraid. Be very afraid. I've been given 5 minutes, so I'll put my notes in a book. We don't mind. The story of Roger's MBE is, as Roger himself, complicated and long-winded. But I'll try to make it short. About 5 years ago, I was introduced to a man who's become a very great friend of mine, Mr. Colin Henwood, who's sat over there. And we did a project together, photographing his wonderful boats on the Thames. He's a boat builder, a great craftsman, and we did this project together, and I had a whale of a time one summer swanning about on the Thames at Colin's expense. It was marvellous. The sum of that was that soon after that, Colin was awarded Craftsman of the Year by the Heritage Crafts Association. A big deal, a big thing. And following from that, he was asked if he knew anyone who might be worthy of an award in the honours list. And quick as a flash, he said, I think I know someone who might. So he had a word with his wife, the wonderful Lucy Henwood, who is a force not to be reckoned with, who agreed wholeheartedly and promptly rang me and said, did I think this was a good idea? Now, those of you amongst you who know my views on royalty might think something different, but I do believe it's something that Roger deserves and warrants without hesitation or doubt. And so we set about putting together a brief history of Roger's activities from day one until the present day. We enlisted the help of the great and the good, and in my case, the unwashed, but we put it all together and with the help of the Heritage Crafts Association, made an application. And I have to say, without Lucy's intervention, this would not have happened. I had a running battle with the HCA, which Lucy very kindly sorted out and made this thing happen. The MBE has been almost 5 years in the making. It took nearly 18 months to put together, and it was another 18 months before it was awarded to Roger. It culminated in a telephone call I had one Friday morning. And it went, do you know anything about this letter? And I said, well, what letter? And he said, the one from the Cabinet Office. I said, oh, that letter. Yes, I might know something about that. And so we do. So, Roger, you've a lot of people to thank, and you've a lot of people to be embarrassed by, I think, later on tonight. Here is a book of the people that contributed to the submission for your MBE. And one or two are signed. There's a few more still to sign it for me tonight, but I'll give it to you now. And congratulations. Well done. And no one deserves it better.
Could you take a little bit out of the wedges, please, Nigel? Nigel's doing the sound tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's the man.
Tell me your dreams, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What are those desires? What hunger to sate? How I defy it? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Have a little faith, we can pull it together. You're far too good for keeping down. I know your problem. It's clear to see, though I find I am useless. What happened to doing? Did you feel it just wasn't worth the effort? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you down? I wanna hold on as you unravel, even if you don't want me around. But sure there must be something, anything I can do. Sometimes I get to thinking I must make it worse for you. Tell me your dream, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What are those desires? What hungers to sate? How I fire? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Have a little faith, we can pull it together. You're far too good for keeping down. You're far too good for keeping down. You're far too good for keeping down.
Cheers, cheers, Roger. That's my hero. Love you, mate.
I'd just like to thank Moira for letting me follow John Smith. No pressure there, then. I'd like to thank Roger as well for the support he's given me over the last year. And he knows what I mean. This is one just for you, mate, this is. Just to the words. It's not mushy, it's sarcastic. He made his first guitar from hardboard and fishing line. He couldn't really play it. He was only 9. But over the years, he made everything by hand. Now if you got it filed, you got the finest in the land. And he could do the same for you. He could do the same for you. the same for you, but you'll have to join the queue. It's longer than a snooker queue. He met a young lady, or a young maiden. Moira was her name. She said, "Rather, you're rather eccentric, but I like you just the same." He said, I live in a round house." She said, "Yeah, of course you do. And we get water from a stream." She said, "Don't worry, because I'm gonna look after you." She won't do the same for you. She might do the same for you. Do the same for you, but you'll have to join the queue. It's longer than a snooker queue. It's only a very short song. Now, he's a jolly good fellow, Bit of an alchemist. If he takes you down to Haskell's New Market, enjoy your Brahms and Liszt. A letter from the Queen saying, "Roger, we've made a little badge for you. It's not made out of Wengel or Binker, but it's stainless steel will do, I think. If she could do the same for you, she might do the same for you. She might do the same for you, but you'll have to join the queue. It's longer than a snooker queue. Yes, you'll have to join the queue. She could do the same for you. Have to join the queue. Longer than a snooker queue. A snooker queue. Thank you.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the sort of early days, the 70s of Roger's guitar making, and one of the things that was very important to us when we first got together, Stu had just come out of a folk rock band called Hedgehog Pie, where he'd been playing electric bass, and he came to me and said, "Do you fancy getting together as a duo and trying to play with kind of folk rock rhythms and arrangements, but just using acoustic instruments?" And I said, "Well, how are we going to do that?" And he said, "Well, I've got this thing here that Roger's made." Well, it wasn't actually that one. It was a bit smaller than this one, called the Sir Toby, which is appropriately named for what it is. So we got together with that in mind, trying to play like a rock band, but just using acoustic instruments. We also used Roger's fantastic bouzouki. And the bouzouki and bass were a great combination. And back in around about 1978, I think it was, we ended up making a thing called a long-playing record. You might remember them. And that long-playing record was called Nout's a Good'll Pass. And it was full of songs from the northeast of England, which is where we're from, if you hadn't sort of worked it out. And we used this combination of instruments and all that sort of thing. And Nout's a Good'll Pass is a great song that comes from a Geordie song called The Bonnie Gateshead Lass, and that's the song that we're going to do for you tonight. The Bonnie Gateshead Lass is an amazing song that was written by a man called Joe Wilson, who was a very extrovert and lively musical performer in the Tyneside music halls. And like lots of people who perform lively and humorously off stage, they're usually quite shy. And this is a song about his shyness. Apparently he was in a pub in Gateshead one night, and across the room he could see a very attractive young woman. And he decided he'd like to go and introduce himself to this young woman, using a few carefully chosen words and phrases that might start a conversation that would then lead on to the development of a deep and meaningful relationship. But he was a bit too shy to do it in front of everybody in the crowded bar, so he decided the best thing to do is to wait until she went to the ladies' toilet and follow her into the ladies' toilet and have a word with her in there. This was very common practice in Gateshead. So that's what happens. She gets to go towards the toilet. He gets up to follow her. She's wearing a long dress that trails along the ground a little bit. And he accidentally steps on the hem of the dress and pins it to the ground. And she keeps on walking towards the toilet. So he rips the dress in front of everybody in this crowded bar. Disaster. But it wasn't actually a disaster, because she immediately then turned round and introduced herself to him with some very carefully chosen words and phrases, some of which he'd never heard before. I have to tell you this story because this is, unlike all of the songs that you've heard tonight, this one is sung very much in the Geordie dialect. And so as it rattles along, you probably have got no chance of understanding what it's about. But it has got a fantastic bit for you to join in with. You listen very carefully to the last line of every verse and then sing it straight back like a refrain. So at the end of the first verse goes, "And the bonniest lass in Gateshead's bonny face has bothered me." And after that, you're on your own. At the end of the song, we play a little tune. It's a tune called Elsie Marley. Elsie Marley was another notable Newcastle character. She used to keep a pub called the Barley Moor. And the story is that she used to spend a lot of the time around the back of the pub with the customers, discussing whether Rafa Benitez was going to bring Newcastle back up from the Championship. I think something like that. Now, we made this album called Now to Good'll Pass in 1978. It was before there was any BBC Radio 2 Folk Awards or anything like that. But we did manage to win the Melody Maker Folk Album of the Year, 1978, with this album. Very much thanks to Roger's wonderful instruments that we played on the album. And it was a great achievement for us, especially for a couple of 12-year-olds. This is the Bonnie Gateshead lass. Do you want to say anything about this particular bass?
Just really the story of this bass here. I used to play the little Sir Toby, as Bob just said. And one day Roger came along and said, "Look, there's a guy just sent this back. Do you want to borrow it?" And the guy, he's quite a well-known guy, so I'd like to dedicate this to John Entwistle, the late John Entwistle, who sent this back to Roger. God knows why, because it's a lush instrument. Brilliant. So, yep.
I'll warrant you've never seen me, lass. A name I cannot mention, for fear you'll gan and tell her how I like her, so I do. Well, it's just for lads and lasses for to whisper their affection. The bonniest lass in Gateshead's bonny face has bothered me. Come on. The bonniest lass in Gateshead's bonny face has bothered me. Well, the first time I saw her, I thought I didn't know her, but I'm sure I'd seen her face before. I couldn't think of where. Her blue eyes met mine in passing up the high street in the morning, and her look was so entrancing that my heart was mine nae man. Her look was so entrancing that my heart was mine nae man. Well, I didn't see her for a week, and then one night at the bridge end, well, I stramped upon a gown, and the gathers that come away. Now she told us I was clumsy, and I said that I was sorry, and I humbly begged her pardon. I was licked for what to say. I humbly begged her pardon. I was licked for what to say. So I walked on by her side, just as if I had a right today. The conversation first was shy, but then it turned first class. We talked about the weather, and she mentioned that her father was a puddler down at Hawks'. Oh, me bonny Gateshead lass, go on. A puddler down. They've got the record. Then she mentioned, confidentially, that her uncle was a grocer, and her mother's father's cousin was a fiddler on the shore. Then she talked so nice and friendly, she looked both sweet and pleasant. I thought I'd never seen a lass so charming like before. I thought I'd never seen a lass so charming like before. She says her mother keeps a shop. She sells hot pies and candy, and her brother, he's a cobbler in the high part of the town. Now she was a dressmaker, and we got on so well together. I'm blessed I'd been so awkward as to stand upon a gown. I'm blessed I'd been so awkward as to stand upon a gown. But I made her laugh and slap me look. talking lots of nonsense, but bless you, when you're courting, man, there's no so good'll pass. I asked her would she be me lass, and I'd take her out on Sunday, and to my delight she says I might be bonny gated lass. To my delight she says I might be bonny gated lass.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Thank you. We are normally collectively known as Scold's Bridal.
Well, us two are.
Us two are.
I'm not.
He's not. He's Dave Walmsley, fantastic singer-songwriter.
Right, well, this guitar goes back to when I couldn't play it because I had a bump out here. And that bump is now 40 years old, as is this guitar. It's just coming up to its 40th birthday, and it was made in Kirkham at Progress Mill, and I think Eddie Green, who's sitting over there, had a hand in it as well as Roger. Dave Walters and Kathy were sort of all on the scene, and it's just taken me back tonight, those 40 years. Just lovely, lovely times. This guitar has been far and wide, admired. It's got the bumps and the scars, but that's good. That means it's been played. So it's a pleasure to have it, Roger. Thank you.
And in 1975, I was invited to look round the mill, and I duly went and came out with a guitar that I'd bought. I couldn't play the guitar then.
Well, you still
I don't know why
can't.
I bought one, and I still can't play a guitar, but I've got a lovely file guitar, and it's one of these days I will play it. I will bring it out.
You do play it, but...
Enough said, really.
Oh, what a shame.
Right, we're going to do a song that's near to our hearts. It's a song from Fleetwood, from a deep-sea fishing port, and it was written by a local man, Ivan McKern, just telling about what life was like in a busy seaport with all the industry that went with it. It's got a belting chorus, so we'd love to hear you sing with us. Sounds of the night, drifting in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night, I remember now they've gone. We'll start with that. Sounds of the night, drifting in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night, I remember now they're gone. It's only a really short song, so will you forgive us if we do that chorus again? You can have a sing. Let's hear you. Sounds of the night, drifting in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night, I remember now they're gone. In the stifling heat of a summer's evening, windows open to the sounds in the air. I can hear the engines in the railway sidings, shunting the wagons bound for who knows where. First an urgent jump like a panting dog, then a silence, then a crash, as an errand truck is pushed back into order in its rightful place on the railway track. Sounds of the night, drifting in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night, I remember now they're gone. Half awake, half asleep, what's that sound I'm hearing? Like the distant drumming of a marching band, growing ever louder in the still early morning, waking me from the dream world of another land. Now I realise that it's the sound of the lumpers as they trek through what little of the night remains. All their fish unloaded, hear the clocks click clatter as they're making their weary way back home again. Sounds of the night. I'd sometimes hear it in my room at night. That's the sound of the trawler, siren sounding out in the channel by the wire line. Could be a cry of hope for a ship that's sailing out to far-off fishing grounds for icy foam, or a sigh of relief at the safe returning of a loved one back to his native home. Sounds of the night dripping in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night I remember now they're gone. Sounds of the night dripping in through my bedroom window. Sounds of the night I remember now they're gone.
Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, I've noticed, actually, to my shame, that all the guitars played tonight, as beautiful as they are, they look a lot better than mine. It's been a bit battered. But there's been a lot of love, a lot of love. I've had this guitar since 1977. I bought my first guitar, really, my first, and it's the only really guitar I've ever bought, unfortunately, Roger, for you, but that's the only... Roger did ask me, I think a few years ago, I think it's about time you got a new one. I said, why? Because this is just so brilliant. It's just been so brilliant. Let me just say I'm very, very honoured to be asked here tonight, Roger. I was very, very honoured, and I'm so glad that could make it tonight. And I'm going to play this song that I'm sure everybody will know, because it is a kind of Holly's classic. So if you feel like joining in and singing along with me, please don't. The road is... Now, what did I say? Try again. The road is long, with many a winding turn that leads us to who knows where, who knows when. But I'm strong, strong enough to carry him. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not cover me. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. And if I'm late at all, that everyone's heart is unfilled with the gladness of love for one another. It's a long, long road from which there is no return. And while we're on the way to there, one that share all and the load doesn't weigh me down at all. He ain't heavy, he's my brother. He's my brother. He ain't heavy. He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
So next up we have Megan Henwood with her brother Joe.
Thanks, Moira. I did kind of ruin my joke there because I was going to say this man here is not heavy. I've been in a bit of a state of overwhelmed disbelief to be in this room, which is fitting, really, because since knowing Roger, I've been consistently overwhelmed by his support, kindness and belief and encouragement, and Moira too. And Coco and Rosie are a constant source of strength for me when I think, why the hell am I being a musician? But most of the time it's all good. And thanks very much. I don't have anything witty to say. Do you have anything witty to say?
Nothing witty, I'm afraid. But I've actually never met Roger before until this evening. I don't know if I'm the only person in the room. So I'm incredibly lucky to be here. But over the past few years, I've been lucky to play these two instruments and a mandolin that my mum and dad bought for me that you made, and an incredible ukulele that you made for my mum. And after playing those instruments, I just felt like I already know you're a dude and you're a legend.
Joe! Sorry. It's usually me. I just told Roger I wasn't going to swear to it. Unlike the previous song, you won't know this one. It's a new tune. It's called The Man in the Matchbox.
Can I get a little bit more of my guitar in here?
Traveling salesman Friday night, gaunt grey face in the neon light, talking to an open tin, wondering about the man within. Was it watered down or taken neat? Was it Cutter's Choice or Amber Leaf? I smoke these straights as I drink alone. I never learned to roll my own. Tracing a schedule of his manners and means, his virtues, his vices, he dares and he dreams. My briefcase, my schedule, the knot in my tie, the man in the matchbox lives an opposite life, lives an opposite life. In red-lit beds he rolls and wakes. He's fluid with the love he makes. Through sweetnesses he strays and steers. I've carried him for all these years. I'm tracing a schedule, his manners and means, his virtues, his vices, he dares and he dreams. My briefcase, my schedule, the knot in my tie, a man in the matchbox lives an opposite life, lives an opposite life. And if one night I should look up and see his face in flesh and blood, I'd walk away, won't strike that match. This borrowed life remains intact. I'm tracing a schedule, his manners and means, his virtues, his vices, he dares and he dreams. My briefcase, my schedule, the knot in my tie, the man in the matchbox lives an opposite life, lives an opposite life. Thank you, Roger.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Okay, I don't think I've ever told Roger this story, but I grew up in Blackpool, which is just down the road from Kirkham, where he started making guitars. I think that's where he started, right? Kirkham. Yeah. Okay. So quite a few people locally played his guitars, especially in folk clubs. And when I first started having guitar lessons at the age of about 13, my guitar teacher had one, and he wouldn't let me play it. I had an encore from Argos that came with a pitch pipe and a VHS video and a strap, I think. And he wouldn't let me play this guitar. But one day I snapped a string, and he very reluctantly took out his second guitar, which was also filed, and he let me play it. And I fell in love with it. I mean, you know, I was comparing it to an encore from Argos, but I was absolutely in love with it, and I decided at that moment that one day I would own a file guitar, and then I'm pretty notoriously bad with money, and Roger knows this because I'm currently paying for a guitar in instalments. So it never quite happened. I had a bunch of guitars, all different ones. I'd kind of buy one, then sell it on eBay and buy a slightly better one. And then one day, I had an email from Roger asking me if I'd like to go and try some guitars. And I couldn't quite believe it, or didn't really understand how it happened. I actually have Keith, who's taking photos tonight. I actually have him to thank for that, because he'd seen me at my local folk club and told Roger to sort me out with something decent. So that's how I came to get this guitar, and I'm really grateful. I love it. I play it every day. I play it at every show. For a while, it was the only thing I owned. I had a bit of a funny spell and sold everything, but I kept this, and I always will, so thanks. And this is a song called Windy Head. As the snow is falling down, putting borders of white on every fixture in this town, you hear it crunch beneath your feet. As you walk with eyes wide open, full of wonder, through the streets, across the graveyard into town, and pay attention to the silence that resides behind the sounds of birds singing in the trees. And for a moment you're distracted from all those bitter memories. Well, I hope our love ain't like the snow, temporary, soon to go, fleeting beauty till the sun or rain comes to beat it down the drain. But there's no way of knowing, darling, how long this can last. I hear that love can stick, it never has in the past. There's no way of knowing, darling, it's just like you said, especially in such a restless heart and windy head. So as this canvas starts to melt and all these colors fade to gray, will you still feel the way we felt as a child in the snow? Or quickly tire as you realize that your feet are getting cold? Don't answer now, just hold your tongue, 'cause you don't know, and either way it's just another song unsung. Well, I hope our love ain't like the snow, temporary, soon to go, fleeting beauty till the sun or rain comes to beat it down the drain. But there's no way of knowing, darling, how long this can last. I hear that love can stick, it never has in the past. There's no way of knowing, darling, it's just like you said, especially in such a restless heart and windy head. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you, Roger. Thank you. Cheers. And thank you, Moira, for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Thank you. An honor.
It's so good to be here. So good to be here. So good to hear such wonderful musicians. Some who I've never heard before, playing instruments that are siblings to mine. And on my left is my beloved, the love of my life, my wife, Ulrika.
Hey, wonderful to be here.
And in my lap is another love of my life.
What?
Here's an old spiritual that I've been playing. I'm going home on the morning train. If you don't see me, you will hear me sing. All my sins been taken away, taken away. Sister Mary wore 3 lengths of chain.
every link was Jesus' name. All my sins been taken away, taken away. The tallest tree in paradise, believers called it the tree of life. All my sins been taken away, taken away. Jordan's deep, Jordan's wide, milk and honey on the other side. All my sins been taken away,
taken away.
I'm going home on the morning train. If you don't see me, you will hear me sing. All my sins been taken away, taken away. Tallest tree in paradise, believers called it the tree of life. All my sins been taken away, taken away.
Right, it's a bit late. But, I mean, this is like being in the Illuminati of acoustic guitar. And there's the high priest himself over there. I was thinking, what could I possibly do to sum him up? And I thought I'd have a shot at Satisfied Mind, you know, that classic old song, but then I realised that Eric's done it beautifully. So I thought, bugger that. And then I thought, how about something in open tuning of G-flat minor ninth with an added second? But then I realised Gordon was in the room, so no chance. But this, the chorus of this, the chorus sums the sheriff up for me. And you can sing along if you know it. Traditional English song.
Here I go, out to sea again. Sunshine fills my head, and dreams hang in the air. Sun's in the sky, and pride in my blue eyes. No, it feels unfair. There's magic everywhere. Look at me standing here on my own again, up straight in the sunshine. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. The sun's in your eyes, the heat is in your hair, seems to hate you because you're there. I need a friend, oh, I need a friend, make me happy, not stand here on my own. Look at me standing here on my own again, up straight in the sunshine. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. I need a friend, oh, I need a friend, make me happy, not so alone. Ooh, look at me here, here on my own again, up straight in the sunshine. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. Wonderful life. Wonderful life. Wonderful life.
Go on, Roger. The sheriff himself.
It's a pleasure to be here amongst that great artists and with an MBE in the audience. So I'm just going to play a cover song. Thank you.
one harp guitar away from the last waltz. That's what this feels like. I don't know about you guys. So, I'm going to play a song that I wrote after an Ullapool Guitar Festival a couple of years ago. I'm sure some of you have been. And 2 years ago, there was a huge storm on the last night, and we left the lake club, and there were these 90-mile-an-hour winds coming off the sea, and my guitar got pulled out of my hand in its Hiscox guitar case and blown up the hill from the seafront up the hill to the Cayley place, which is quite a distance actually. And there were 4 guitar players running after it, like stamping on the case to try and stop it and save it from the weather. And we got it back, and it was this guitar, and it was fine. And I've told this story at a few gigs, and someone said to me once, "What's the problem? You do hit your guitar." So that was fair enough. But I was telling the story up in Ullapool this summer, and people didn't really remember me, and it did terrible things for my ego. But then when I said the bit about the guitar going up the hill, someone said, "You're the guitar man from the Storm. Isn't that the coolest nickname in the world?" Yeah? Yeah, I thought so. So this is a song about that storm and about my file guitar being fine. It's a song called The End of the World Blues. Sorry to bum you all out at this point in the evening. And congratulations, Roger. Here we go.
I saw an old man on my way, a long black cloak and a face of ashen grey. I thought it best I didn't stay. See, I've been known to fall behind, searching out my space and time. I found the key, only lets it all unwind. Out of sight, out of my mind. But we are all islands at heart, waiting for waters to part. And if the sun fell from the sky, everything turned black. Darling, you have my word that I would stay with you. And if the waves came and washed away everything you knew, left you at the end of the world blues, I would sing with you, I would sing with you. So leave with me early today, or run before the morning fades. It's up to us which path we choose to stray. Together we can brave the rain. But we are all islands at heart, waiting for waters to part. And if the sun fell from the sky, everything turned black. Darling, you have my word that I would stay with you. And if the waves came and washed away everything you knew, left you at the end of the world blues, I would sing with you, I would sing with you. The sun fell from the sky, everything turned black. Darling, you have my word that I would stay with you. And if the waves came and washed away everything you knew, left with the end of the world blues. I would sing with you. I would sing with you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I would sing with you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I would sing with you.
Thank you. See you later.
There is one aspect of Roger Bucknell that hasn't been praised this evening, and I wanted to bring it up. And that is his ability to reply to emails so quickly. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, you're supposed to be in the workshop making all these beautiful guitars, and he emails back within like 2 minutes. It's quite incredible. So, well done for that, Rog. And then I was thinking, what was Roger's first contact with me via email? So I've got it here. Hello, Will. Tristan Seume and Colleen Lindsay have both suggested I contact you. If I can help you in any way guitar-wise, I'd be very willing to do so. Be great to hear from you. That is the fastest reply I've ever sent to an email before. I was like, yes, please. So thank you, Roger, so much. And it's such a privilege to be here in front of so many wonderful musicians, quite a lot of which have inspired me to become a professional musician. So thanks a bunch for that. I'm going to play you this tune of mine called The Wake Up, which is inspired by the Purbeck Hills, a morning around the Purbeck Hills, which is where I'm currently living, just outside of Bournemouth. So here it is.
Well, thank you so much for putting me last, just in case I broke anything. Then you could just draw a line through it. It'd be great. It's wonderful to be a part of the Fylde family, as I heard earlier on. This term used, and I used it myself before I heard it, because I met loads of nice people up at Ullapool Guitar Festival. Of course. I still have no idea why I'm part of the family, but it's wonderful to be here. I'm actually a fiddle player, but I make more money playing guitar. I know, right? So I play a wee tune here. Fantastic, by the way. Everyone tonight has just blown me away, which makes being last on the stage even harder. So I'll keep it simple, and hopefully you'll forgive me. Roger, thank you. You built the back and sides of this twice, so. Here's a tune, a fiddle tune, funnily enough, by the late great Jerry someone. He wrote it. It's called "Lonesome Eyes," and you'd think he'd wrote it for like a love of his. But I think there are two stories going around. One is that he wrote it for a dog, which I can kind of understand, Lonesome Eyes. And then the other one is more touching, is that he actually wrote it for his son. And touching because I think his son died, sorry. But yes, I'll just play it and shut up. Love you, bye.
She is. Fyldestock. What a beautiful guitar. And I think I had it from you in about 75 or 76. And it's fabulous. Fabulous instrument. I mean, I'm sure helped enormously by Eastern Airlines' attempt to get inside and find out why it was so good. Nice double crack they put in it. And of course, when I asked you to to repair it, you said, no, don't want that. It's an honoured scar of the road. I can't remember your exact words, but that was the gist of it. So wonderful. Congratulations. It's fabulous for you. It's fabulous for all of us who play these beautiful guitars. And they are wonderful guitars. I hear them being played all over the place, and they're just beautiful pieces of work, and you have become the wonderful expert that was always in you from the start, because it was from the start. You made this under protest, as I remember. never going to make a jumbo guitar or a dreadnought, and people kept nagging you, and boy am I glad that you ever did. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you're having a fantastic time, and that you continue to have a fantastic time. You put yourself through the mill as well, didn't you? But come out the other side. It's your passion that does it. You have a real passion for your job, for what you do. Congratulations and lots of love. I'm very, very sorry I can't be there, but people didn't want to move the gig, and they're good friends, and they didn't want to do it, so I didn't want to lose a friendship. Didn't want to lose any friendship. Thank you very much. Take care, and hooray.
Well, they gave you wood to work with, and they put 5 fingers on each hand. Now only a fool would fail to see why they gave you an MBE. Guitars in their thousands, yes, you made such a lot. You used to be quite moody, and now you're not. Well, not as much anyway. You even made this ukulele, then they gave you an MBE. Well, we've something in common, both me and you. That's one conclusion that I've come to, 'cause when it comes to a bridge, you know it's true. I know how to write them, but you know how to make them. Do you get it? There's nothing you make that I wouldn't buy. Your social standing now has gone sky high, and I am just a commoner on my knees. Now you've got an MBE. Oh, will you still bother with the likes of me? Now you've got an MBE.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.